numbers on the backing plate of the magneto indicates it was made the 10th month of 1929. So it's old enough, you know. 1929, probably looking at some hard times. Taking note, this is the parts of this engine that we have to work with. A lot of missing parts on it. The parts, this is the sum, the total amount of the parts that we've taken apart. This is what I had to work with in a disassembled state. I haven't got the rings off the piston. It's just taken apart. So we'll break it on down with the piston and rod assembly. But to confirm some credentials that the engine would have to warrant getting the engine running with the necessary parts that it needs is the fact that it's the date that the backing plate was made, flywheel amiss with the serial number, but the manufacturing date on the flywheel, which appears to be original to the engine, you know, it's made during the 10th month of 1929. So with them credentials, I think I'll get it running. Now y'all leave a comment there. I'll have to make a couple of parts over there on the lathe, I think. You know, some bolt work, threads, get all that rust off of these parts. So without further ado, I should be getting on with the project. Rust, it's not a bearing. I usually refer to that bushing as a bearing, but it's actually a bushing in there. Well, probably should discuss how a hit-and-miss engine designation applies to the Model 92. The Model 72 is a whole different engine as far as the timing arrangement, fuel and induction to the cylinder. You know, it's worth looking into with the original instructions and paperwork with it to explain that. It's a hit-and-miss engine, Model 92. Well, to be noted, the rust on that pivot pin right there for that ratchet assembly. Also, take note that in the counterweight mechanism part there, the felt has rusted itself into the metal. And we'll dig that out. Get a square corner down in there. Well, you know, after done already dug that felt washer out of there, that little they are adjusting shims. You can set the end play on your crankshaft with how many of them little washers you put in there. And then the felt goes in the bigger part over that protruding bushing there in the housing. And then you take up the slack with the metal shims. Little departure here on this project. I normally just go ahead and put these into electrolysis. Stand by that electrolysis 100% as metal removal. On this project here, I'm going to go ahead and throw these parts in that bucket of rust remover over there. I'm just going to go ahead and throw them in there and clean them up, get the engine going. Just a basic electrolysis setup. I put the part in there, turned it on yesterday. It's been in there about a day. You can see the action. Well, cost is the bonus when you clean parts with the electrolysis. I done already looked it up on the internet here. It says it costs about 10 cents a day to run that battery charger there in my area. Sounds like it's kind of cheap way to clean rusty metal. And I may add to that, as my experience, the better quality part, condition-wise, finish of any of the processes I have used. Put a couple of them graphite bars down the side of that plastic bucket, clamp her down, put the part in there, washing soda, just dump it in there. To max out the cleaning process, I have come to discover, just suspend them parts on a piece of baling wire, that 12-volt battery charger, graphite bars down the side there. It seems to work for me. Very efficient way to clean metal. As to the philosophy of, you just go ahead and start with one part, put your engine back together, and that way you will know, be expecting it to start on the first couple of turns at least, as to have laid in some years back one of these long base gas tanks for one of these Maytag Model 92 multi-motors, they was called, underneath the wash machine. So somehow I become caretaker of this, and we start with one piece. There's the plug that goes in the side right there. I'll run a tap in there before we put it together. So with one piece, next item would be a gasket. Thank you, Mike. We'll get that top right there with the crankcase mounted onto it. We get that base top there out of that tank over there, and we'll put her on there. And taking note of the condition of the metal, done already had it in that there evapor rust stuff. Cleaned it up with the air hose, scratched on it with the utility knife. That's what I've ended up with on the clean metal, as opposed to that crankcase there. And I get it in that tank there, get mounted to the base. And the base there with the plug removed, that's just one piece. So we'll put all the other pieces that goes on to that tank being a replacement for this one in the fairground here that has the front part broken off. So we get a little heat on the rear right there to get that gas filler plug removed onto the other gas tank. I'm going to need a coil for that backing plate there. You know, probed it. Here, coil is not any good. May hear some rain in the background on the tin roof here in Middle Tennessee. It's going to be one of them kind of evenings. Now we'll post up out there underneath the awning, watch it rain for a while. Now y'all leave a comment, you know, check back every now and then. A thumbs up if you think the channel deserves it. You know, put in a good word for me. I'm here in Middle Tennessee. And they call me Shop Dog Sam here on YouTube. Enjoy.